Welcome to video 2 on variance analysis. As promised, this is going to be to concentrate on an example on variance analysis. I find this example very interesting because a lot of people have come with it to consult about it, probably because it came in their examination or in their test, and I thought I should use it as an example for this. So I'll scroll through the question and I will ask you to pause so that you go through. I believe you've paused and watched it. I like going straight to the requirements when I have a question before I check anything else. So the requirements are saying we need to calculate, first of all, the budgeted output. What you're going to notice here is that you need knowledge of both variance analysis and absorption costing for you to handle that part of the question. So for budgeted output, we know that the fixed overhead absorption rate is given by budgeted expenditure divided by budgeted units. And then from the question we can tell that the fixed overhead absorption rate, given the information above here, is calculated with reference to the direct wage cost. Now the direct wage cost is calculated with reference to that information. So it seems like the wage cost per unit, the wage cost per unit is given by 5 multiplied by 6, and then the fixed overhead absorption rate is given by 120% of that total that you get. Following this, it would follow that the fixed overhead absorption rate would be 5 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 120%. Now 120% is just 120% is just 1.2 because this is 120 over 100. Therefore, if you got this into a calculator, just grab my calculator, you would have 5 multiplied by 6, which would give you 30, and if you multiply 30 by 1.2 to give you 36. The fixed overhead absorption rate in that question is 36. Then we also know that the formula for fixed overhead expenditure variance, which I hope and think we've been given the fixed overhead expenditure variance here. Okay, yeah, the fixed overhead expenditure variance is 6,000, and so we know that fixed overhead expenditure variance is given by the budgeted units, the budgeted expenditure or cost minus the actual expenditure or cost. From the question, we've been given the fixed overhead expenditure variance as 6,000 adverts, which means minus 6,000. And then we've been given a have we been given the budgeted expenditure? No, we haven't been given the budgeted expenditure and we're looking for it, so we'll just say budgeted expenditure. Expenditure. And have we been given the actual expenditure? I should think so. It says fixed overhead incurred is 150,000. So fixed overhead incurred is 150,000. Now if you bring the 150,000 this side, that will be positive 150,000, and so the budgeted expenditure, which is this one, is going to end up being the difference between those two, which would be 144,000. So given that, you will notice that we've calculated this as that, and we've calculated this as that. We can therefore conclude that 36 is equal to 150,000 over the budgeted units. And if you cross multiplied, change the subject of a formula, you will end up with budgeted units of what we are looking for, which is 150,000. I beg your pardon, this is not 150,000, that's 140,000. $144,000. So you end up having 144,000 divided by 36, which is 144,000 divided by 36, which is 4,000 units. And so the answer we are looking for in part A is 4,000 units for 3 marks there. So the answer here is supposed to be 4,000 units. Let's go to the next part. It says calculate the number of liters purchased. Okay, so calculate the number of liters purchased. What liters are they referring to? Well, this reminds me, so this is one of those typical questions that you can't solve by memorizing formulas, and actually Colin Drury comments on this in his 1993 book on costing, and it's a typical question that I think I've seen even in exams as odd, actually odder than some of you. So it's asking us for the number of liters, but what you're going to notice is we've been given a material price variance of 8,000. Okay, so let's start with a material price variance of 8,000. So we're trying to solve part B. And for part B, we have a material price variance of $8,000, and then we've also, there's some bit of information that we've been given in the question. We're taught that the price, the standard price is 2.5, right? And then the actual price was 2.45. So what has actually happened here is that the variance, the price variance per liter, okay, the price variance per liter is actually equal to that 2.5 the 2.45, those two price variances. If you get this, what you end up having is 8,000 divided by 0.05, and it will give you I think a total of, let me just grab my calculator again. $8,000 divided by 0.05, it will give you 160,000. So 160,000 liters. So back to the answer again. Back to the question. Our answer here is supposed to be, no, not there. Our answer here is supposed to be 160,000 liters. If that was a bit too much, please pause the video, watch it again, rewind, and then move on to the next question. For the next question, we were asked for the number of liters used above the standard allowed, and what we know is that the material usage variance is 6,000, so that will give us a lot there of information. So we're dealing with C. So our usage variance is 6,000, and then the standard price is 2.5, and I think it's given on top there. That's the actual price. The standard price is at 2.5 on top here. So if you divided that 2.5 here, what you would get is a value of 6,000 divided by 2.5 is 2,400 liters. And that's the one that we need here, 2,400 liters. 2,400 liters. Okay, what's the reasoning behind this? So we're trying to find the number of liters above standard allowed, and this is just obviously explained by the variance. We have our direct material usage variance, and this amount includes the actual quantity and the standard amount per actual quantity in terms of liters, and the standard price per liter. So we had to divide the standard price per liter in order to get the actual quantity allowed. So I know above the standard allowed, so it's really just mostly in the logic. So I'm trying to make this video short, so what we'll do is, for the rest of the questions that are remaining, let's discuss them in class, and then we see how you can score those remaining marks. Thanks for watching.